Hello.
Hello. Hi. Again, we greet you from within the shadow of the everlasting hills. May peace be with you this day and always. Sorry for the late start. We're waiting for a few extra stragglers. Fortunately, you guys care about America. You're here on time. You're ready to go. When the stragglers come in and sit down next to you, you might want to say, excuse me, why don't you care about America? Why do you hate America? Why?
Yeah, you'll notice at the bottom here, this front section, or the back section there on the first few seats, we marked that off for the communists.
Look at that.
And we got
Whole row.
no one.
2 sections. All commies.
By the way, I'm Stu. This is Pat Gray.
Hi.
Thank you all so much for coming out. It's going to be a great day. And there's quite a bit to cover, as you will find out during the day, including we have not only you guys here watching, but also we should say hello to the Insider Extreme members who are at home right now.
Hi.
Please give them a warm welcome. They love you
Yes.
here. They love you.
People are actually viewing this on the World Wide Web, which, of course, was invented by Al Gore.
He tried to come, but I guess there was a problem with his convoy. Do you have any information on that?
His SUVs got stuck in traffic. But yes, I did invent the internet about the same time Love Story was written about Tipper and me. But we also have some very special dignitaries here among us, and we would like to welcome Senator Orrin Hatch today. Also, Congressman Jason Chaffetz is here. And
I think everyone thinks they know where he's sitting, but no one actually does.
A little iffy on Congressman Chaffetz, are we? Still trying to make up our minds. It's only been a year and a half. We'll see how he does. I don't know. I'm not sure. We also want to welcome First Lady Annette Herbert to the arena today. Thanks for coming.
So you don't come to a Glenn Beck program show without homework. It's not like you just sit here and enjoy yourself. There's work for you to do. And you'll notice, a lot of people actually like that. It's surprising. One of the things we'll be doing throughout the day is having your questions answered by the speakers. And there's an easy way to do that. While you're right at your seats, just email it to revival@glenbeck.com. Any question you want, send it to revival@glenbeck.com throughout the day. We have some questions kind of filtered in throughout, and then there'll be a longer Q&A section later in the day where we get to a lot of stuff. So anything you can think of as you're going through the day, please send it there to revival@glenbeck.com.
We're going to have a whole section, in fact, where Stu and I will ask your questions of all the speakers here today, which include, of course, but are not limited to, David Buckner is here, David Barton, Judge Andrew Napolitano, and, of course, Glenn Beck.
They seem pretty split on Glenn, too. Kind of 50-50 on him.
Yeah, a little iffy.
Also, a couple of other interesting things going on today. LDStravel.com is giving away to you guys here today a trip to Israel for 8 days. Very cool. So you got to be 21 years or older to enter. But just write this down or keep it in your memory banks. I see you filming me. I see you. Don't try to hide your camera. Any unauthorized reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is just ask the NBA. They'll let you know. So here's the number to text. It is 801-411. You're going to text the name Beck. BECK, to 801-411. You could do it throughout the day. We'll remind you incessantly about it so you know what it is in case you don't have it now. It's text the word BECK to 801-411 to win a trip to Israel. Very cool package.
The other thing is that our friends from the National Center for Constitutional Studies are here. And yes, they deserve it.
Woo! Constitution! Woo!
These guys have been fighting for a really long time to keep the Constitution alive, and they do a great job of it. And they're selling some books in their booth, and I believe that's on, last I heard, it was at Concourse X. And all proceeds from the sales of that booth today, from all of their books, will go to the Special Operations Warriors Fund. So,
and the 828 event, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, and 828.
And they, you probably know a lot of their books, such as the 5,000-Year Leap. Anyone heard of that?
The real George Washington, the real Thomas Jefferson, the real Ben Franklin, the real McCoy, the real thing. I think they have a book on Coke.
The Other White Meat, I believe, is one of their books.
Yes. Are we done yet?
I know, this is endless, isn't it? 828, by the way, you guys know about that. Anyone going to 828 in Washington? Wow. That is very impressive. As you know, you can go to glennbeck.com/828 and find out all the details about it, as well as they're doing great auction items and donations. Certainly would appreciate anything you can do for that. And that is, as well, benefits the Special Ops Warriors Foundation, which is a fantastic cause. So thank you guys so much for coming out. The American Revival begins in just moments.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Faith is different than hope. It's a knowing, a believing in something when circumstances around you would indicate otherwise. There is no country on earth more familiar with the concept of faith than America. Faith is the very cornerstone of the foundation on which our country was built. You might even say it's in our DNA. Every chapter of our great history begins with a spectacular act of faith. Let me take you back to September 1620, the beginning. 102 passengers crammed aboard the Mayflower. It was a creaky old vessel, certainly not a passenger ship by any stretch of the imagination. It had been a wine hauler. Pilgrims, young, old, filled every nook and cranny. Friends, family on shore begged them to reconsider. They warned of the perils that awaited them if they were lucky enough to survive the trip across the unknown sea. The Pilgrims stood firm on their faith that no matter what the challenges might be that lay ahead, freedom was waiting on the other shore. On to 1775, and what had to be the greatest mismatch since David picked up his slingshot and squared off against Goliath. What in the world would possibly motivate an upstart group of British colonies without a real army to seek their freedom by declaring war on the greatest military power in the world? Where there seemingly was no hope, there was faith. Faith that the cause of America was righteous. The same feeling of knowing, that inspired young David. Just about a century later, American families were packing up everything they owned and headed out to a new frontier, the Wild West, in pursuit of happiness. They didn't know what they were going to find when they got there or what they would encounter along the way. They weren't even 100% sure that they would make it there alive, but they knew they had to try. They had the pioneering spirit, which is just another way of saying that they had faith in their own ability to create a better life. In 1879, after hundreds and hundreds of failures, the faith and perseverance of one Thomas Edison gave us the electric light bulb. But he never stopped believing in the idea or his ability to get it right. Same force at play late 1903 in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, where a young man, ignoring warnings of dire consequence, strapped himself on board a contraption that would become the world's first powered airplane. When no one else believed, Orville and Wilbur Wright knew man could fly. A few years later, faith in American innovation led builders to reach towards the heavens with Manhattan's Chrysler Building and Empire State Building, with every steel girder and concrete block of the iconic skyscrapers defying the legion of doubters who said it just couldn't be done. In the 1960s, a young minister had the faith to dream of a better day, of freedom, equality, a realization that all men are created equal. Martin Luther King's giant-like faith gave him assurance that all the pain and his ultimate sacrifice would lead to an outcome men before him could only dream about. 2 decades later, Americans once again exercised faith and put that faith in the most unlikely of politicians, an actor who made up for a lack of experience with a passion for America and a faith that she could return to her previous greatness. And in 2001, our faith greatly challenged, our security shattered, a country united in the faith that we would overcome, that God was still watching over, that no country, no terrorist would ever destroy our American way of life. Faith. From the very beginning of this great country, faith. Faith in God. Faith in an ideal. Faith in our own abilities. It has driven us to become the greatest people the world has ever known. But we are, right now, as a country, facing one of the greatest challenges in our existence. We face an uncertain future. New, imposing enemies, new frontiers that need to be won and conquered, a need for innovation to save our economy. We face a battle for the Republic, a battle for America's survival. Does the faith that burned in the hearts of our forefathers and mothers exist in us today? Do we still have what it takes to meet our challenges head on, knowing that our cause is righteous and just? Can we still reach for answers not readily apparent, solutions not yet revealed? Do we, you and me, still have faith?